Hi, welcome to a video on looking at section 1212 for Math 2, which is on circles, specifically the conic section circles. So this is 12.2. The title of this section is Circles in the Coordinate Plane. And we are going to be graphing circles. And we're going to be looking at an equation of a circle. Okay, so before we get to the equation of the circle, it's important to understand what a circle looks like in the coordinate plane. So there's two key pieces to the circle in the coordinate plane. You have a center and you have a radius. So I'm going to do a radius of, I don't know, 5. So I'm going to go out 5 to the right. I'm going to go up 5. I'm going to go left 5. And I'm going to go down 5. So those are the easiest ones to plot. And then I make a circle that tries to go through all of those points. It's a little off. I went too high here. I'm going to try again. That's a little better. They don't need to be graphed perfectly. So there's a center. And in general, we're going to call this center HK. And there's a radius. So ideally, this radius is the same wherever you draw a segment going from the center to any of the points on the circle. The definition of a circle is the set of all points that are equidistant from a given point, which is the center. So this equation, I'm going to simplify this a little bit, really just comes from the distance formula. If I think about a point on the circle, I'm going to call that xy. If I find the distance between the center, hk, and that point, xy, it should be r. So you do the distance formula, which you may remember is the square root of, and I'm going to do x minus h, those are the x values, squared, plus y minus k squared, and that's equal to the distance, which is the radius. But if you square both sides, that should get rid of this big old square root, and you get the equation that we're going to use, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. So the radius is this distance, and then h and k are the coordinates of your vertex. And notice that h and k both have, they both have minus signs in the formula. So we've dealt with formulas before that have these minus signs. That means that the h and the k will be opposite of what you see. Alright, so our center is h comma k, r is our radius. If your circle is centered at the origin, your center will be 0, 0, and so the equation will look like this. Just x squared plus y squared. So this is when the center is at 0, 0, the origin. Okay, so let's look at some examples of graphing them. Graphing them is pretty much what I showed you how to do. You're going to plot the center and then use the radius to get sort of the northeast, southwest directions, up, down, left, and right. So here, our center is 0, 0, the origin. If you don't see anything here with the x and the y. So I'm going to put a dot there. The radius is not 49. The radius is the square root of 49. So this is r squared. So r would have to be 7. 7 squared is 49. So I'm going to count right 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to go up, down, left, right, all in our direction 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you do your best if you're doing this by hand and not do that. And try and connect them in a circle. Oops. Let's just keep it the way it is. Okay, let's just try again. All right, good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, let's look at example 2. In example 2 here, we've got a center of, okay, so I'm looking for h and k. H is actually -3. It's opposite. K is +4. Both h and k will be opposite because the formula has 2 minus signs. The radius will be the square root of 81, or 9. Okay, so going at -3, 4. So this is our center. I'm going to go up, down, left, right, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to go off the graph. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, it's going to go off by 1 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make your curve to the best of your ability. On Math Excel, you'll be using, I believe you'll be using a circle tool. Okay, moving on to some more examples that are kind of going a little backwards. Example 3 says, find the equation of the circle with a radius of 4 and a center of 6, -1. So essentially what they're giving you are the h, k, and r. Okay, so our equation, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So this is where h goes, this is where k goes, this is where r goes. Alright, so our h is 6, so it needs to go right there. Our k is -1, it's going to go right there. And yes, the negatives will cancel into a positive. And then our radius of 4 goes here. Alright, only thing you really can do after that is just clean it up, and it's going to be x minus 6 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 16, which is 4 squared. Find the equation of the circle with a center of 8, -2, and a point on the circle of 5, 7. Okay, so this is a little bit trickier. They are giving you the center, so they're giving you h and k, but this time they don't give you the radius. Alright, and so we're going to have to find the radius ourselves. But we can go ahead and fill in the h and the k, so x minus 8 squared plus y, so this is a minus a -2, which is going to be plus 2 squared equals the radius squared. So recall up here I was showing you how the radius kind of gives you the formula using the distance formula. And so we're going to use the distance formula. The radius is just the distance between the center and a point. So using the distance formula will give us a radius. So I'm just going to use the distance formula with these 2 points. So 8 minus 5 squared plus -2 minus 7 squared. So let's see, that's 3 squared plus -9 squared. It's 9 plus 81. It's the square root of 90. Okay, so don't take the square root in a calculator and round it or anything like that, because we're just going to now plug it in for r right here. And when you square a square root like that, they cancel each other. And so that number that's going to be there is just 90. And there's your answer. Okay, Last question. Describe how the circle x minus 5 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 64 is translated from x squared plus y squared is equal to 64. So you may notice there's some things that are similar about these two things, specifically the 64s. That tells you that the radius is 8 for both of these circles. And so translation is just shifting something left, right, up, left to right, up or down. So if we sketch out, just real quick sketch, this circle is, they're saying it's translated from that one. The original, it has a center at 0 and a radius of 8. Okay, it's a terrible picture. Don't worry about it being perfect, okay? So that's this one. This one has a center at 5, -3. Remember, take the opposites for h and k. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And it has the same radius of 8. Okay? And so, how is this circle translated from this circle? Essentially, what's happening, the center was here, right? Okay, and it went right 5, down 3. And so that's your answer. You would say that it was right 5, down 3. All right, and that's it for this section.